The good news, Thomas Morstead's ribs aren't broken. The bad news, it still hurts him to breathe or raise his arms and will continue to do so for the next few weeks. The New Orleans Saints veteran punter suffered torn cartilage and bruised ribs on his right side while making a touchdown-saving tackle on a first-quarter punt in the NFC Divisional Playoff game against the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. Initial reports said Morstead fractured a pair of ribs, but the official diagnosis was not as severe. Update on Vikings Child Life campaign. My ego was shot a little bit when the doctor said my ribs weren't broken, Morstead quipped. He said, "Don't worry, it hurts just as bad. It just doesn't sound as cool." Almost 48 hours after the Saints' heartbreaking 29-24 loss to the Minnesota Vikings, Morstead still was walking like Frankenstein, as teammate John Kuhn put it, and carefully avoiding any sudden movements in his upper body. Under his t-shirt, a large elastic wrap squeezed his midsection. The tackle might have saved a touchdown, but it came at a cost. Morstead played much of the rest of the game with a stabbing pain in his right side. His second punt after the injury traveled only 38 yards. He finished the game with a 38.3-yard average in 4 punts, well below his 47.3-yard career average. The whole first half was a grind, Morstead said. "I couldn't breathe and was just panting. Short, shallow breaths the whole first half. I sounded like a dying dog. On that first punt, after the injury, I knew that I was about to electrocute myself. I said to myself, whether it's a good punt or a bad punt, either way it's going to hurt like hell, so I might as well make it work as good as I could." Morstead, on hearing some at Vikings fans were showing him respect for his efforts by donating to his @Wike6 Foundation. Morstead said he will return the favor. pic.twitter.com/1TK7PWJWCD. New Orleans Saints, @Saints, January 16, 2018. A shot of local anesthetic from team doctors at halftime alleviated the pain in the second half. His final punt was 54-yard bomb in the fourth quarter that Marcus Sherrills was forced to fair catch. Kicker Will Lutz, who punted in college at Georgia State, was the contingency plan had Morstead not been able to finish the game, but discussions never reached that point. Morstead said, "Once I could rotate, I knew I was good." Morstead said, "I just didn't want Coach Sean Payton to think that I didn't have my normal punting game. I wanted him to know that, hey, I'm back, and still here as a normal tool and would do a good job." And after the stunning finish and despite his fragile condition, Morstead was one of 8 Saints to return to the field from the post-game locker room so officials could complete the game with the perfunctory extra point play. The bizarre scene occurred a full 10 minutes after Stefon Diggs' game-winning touchdown catch and long after the entire Saints team had left the field. Some Vikings players were conducting media interviews while Morstead and teammates trickled onto the field. "Someone told me that they needed 11 guys out there," Morstead said. "I didn't realize I was the first guy leading the troops out there. We were just trying to get out there and finish the game and be done with it." Morstead shook hands with several of the Vikings players before the play. He said Vikings quarterback Case Keenum assured him their plan was simply to take a knee. "I told him, you better, because I'm hurting and I'm lining up across from some of your big offensive linemen," Morstead said. "I just had this image of the movie, Little Giants, with this kid squatting down in front of the big lineman. It was a unique play that happened. That probably hasn't happened too often, at least not in the last 45 to 50 years. New Orleans Saints kicker Will Lutz, 3, said of teammate Thomas Morstead, 6, "He knew the situation and wasn't about to go out of the game. It speaks volumes to him and his competitiveness." Bill Fake, AP Morstead's toughness impressed teammate Sand, was lauded by announcers Joe Buck and Troy Aikman during the Fox Sports broadcast. "I've had bruised ribs and know how bad it is," Mudd said. "You think everything in your body is broken. It's right above stepping on a Lego." He knew the situation and wasn't about to go out of the game. It speaks volumes to him and his competitiveness. Morstead's heroics also earned the respect of the enemy. In the wake of the loss, Vikings fans inundated Morstead's foundation, What You Give Will Grow, with donations to show their appreciation and support. Many of the donations, from Vikings fans, carry-coded numerical amounts: $61, the length and yardage of Stefon Diggs' game-winning touchdown, $29.24, the final score, or $6, Morstead's jersey number. What started as a trickle has swelled to a flood. 24 hours after the game, contributions from Minnesota area residents had exceeded $2,000, according to Dennis Lomonaco, the executive director of What You Give Will Grow. By Tuesday night, They had reached $8,000. As of Wednesday afternoon, they had soared past $50,000. I thought about the way the Buffalo Bills fans thanked Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Andy Dalton through donations to his charity and thought the Vikings fans could do the same too. Show our respect for the sportsmanship he showed, said Garrick Schertz, who started the donation.